Greetings, gentlemen. My channel has been all but dead for the past few months. I haven't uploaded anything good for a decent while, so I'm here to do something big and cool and new. Or, in other words, a decent video for once. This, gentlemen, is the drama of old. Animation application versus drawing program, with almost all iPad animators holding their breath. Or about 12 rather light-headed people. It's no secret that animation is a pretty niche thing. You know, it requires not only a person who watches anime, seems pretty common here, can draw, a bit rarer, and has a brain. So you wouldn't find one on the internet, no. And you have to write a good, decent story. And you have to choreograph scenes well for the animation. So, unfortunately, the Star Wars branch of Disney is entirely missing from this discussion. But hey, you're not here to learn animation from the worst animator that has ever lived. Like seriously. Okay, 2 years of animation, I don't even really know how to draw.
Here's the thing, okay? My friend's YouTube channel has like a few thousand subscribers and a few 10,000 more views. And he's been laughing at me for that ever since, because apparently my content isn't as good as Roblox Adopt Me. Well, so to prove it to him and to the owner of that channel, please like and subscribe. It will help me out a ton. My content has lots of blood, sweat, and finger movement put into it. So, to show your appreciation, I guess. Thank you.
You see, I used to animate on this app called FlipaClip. Saw myself as a FlipaClip animator. And I still do, to be frank. And you know, FlipaClip seemed to be going uphill, you know. Recently I've seen more and more brushes being added, you know, pixel brushes, other pencils. Like hell, they even remade the entire drawing engine. It's called the Drawing Engine 2.0. They even got glue effects and like mask transitions. Editor's note, I'm pretty sure they also added this automatic pixelation thing, which is done in the software, so you don't have to do it yourself. Like, life is pretty cool. It's going excellently for me, in a general sort of way, and even better for FlipaClip. I haven't been using FlipaClip for a bit, let's say. I've been using a sketchbook a bit more, you know, also Procreate. And, random ramblings aside, it's been a few months since I opened FlipaClip at this point. And so, when I opened it, it seems like everything is cool. I see a new changelog. I see my life turning around. I see my depression vanishing until this happened. What the fuck? Pause. You may be confused by my, albeit mildly exaggerated reaction. Okay, you see, many companies have subscription-based services.
These emojis stared into my soul and forced me to witness the betrayal I had undergone.
And we don't hold pitchforks up to them. Although we definitely should. You see, my complaint comes from the fact that this move came from pure grittiness. Not just the normal amount of gritty. No, I'm talking about like TikTok cringe amount of gritty. You see, my dear fellow, back in the good old days where there was no skibbity toilet, no YouTube content farms. Okay, maybe not the YouTube content farms, but there was no skibbity toilet. Okay, the price of FlipaClip costed around 78 Hong Kong dollars, or around 10 bucks. And it lasted forever, which is quite a long time. You might ask for my evidence on why forever is a long time, so let me just pull this up for you. Whereas this one costs more than 1.6 times. What the The worst thing is, if your descendants keep using the old one forever, this is actually infinite more times expensive. and no amount of money would ever possibly satisfy this quota, which is pretty bad, you know. And personally, in my wallet, I don't have an infinite dollar bill. If you have anybody who does have one, please let me know. I would love to meet them. Okay, but if you're not an immortal god who can comprehend such large numbers, such as infinity, the meaning of life, and, you know, Rick and Morty, let's crunch a few digits, shall we? This is every single cent I made from freelancing, separate video in the works, which adds up to around 1,600 Hong Kong dollars. If 1,600 Hong Kong dollars is too difficult for your American mind to comprehend, it is around 3.1 grams of gold, which you guys still can't comprehend, or 20.6 recurring percent of a 45 caliber ACP round. My first video was uploaded on 16th of April 2021, which converted and factoring modern internet update speeds, you know, sun and moon position of the stars, is around the time the dinosaurs were hit by the asteroid. For the premium I bought, $78 divided by 1,600%, even when factoring in inflation, gets us 4%, which is pretty nice. You know, like 4% is not a lot. Like hell, my taxes are higher than that, and I evade my taxes. Especially when you remember it sticks around longer than the memories of every single stupid thing you ever did. 6 years ago, that 1 sunny second. Okay, on state evidence A, the yearly subscription was 61% off for $128 a year. If we put aside the fact that this might be some sort of scare tactic or whatever, but we're not gonna care about that. This gets you 328 Hong Kong dollars per year, or around 4.2% of a 45 caliber ACP rounds worth of gold. Maybe 24 karat, maybe 18 karat, I'm not sure. I don't care about carats anyways. Factor in the fact that I use this app for 3 years, we get 60%. 60% of my earnings to fuel, like, the guy's luxury life. I'm not sure. Now you understand why I'm mad, right? Okay. It's because this company is blatantly greedy and throws its users away like Andy throwing away his broken toys. Just yeets the user base out of the bloody window. To be honest, this change in monetization also came with a change in FlipaClip's mindset. This company used to cater towards kids who wanted to create, myself included. And their engine, their UI, everything was so simple. It taught you everything you needed to know. And their engine was just so easy to use. And everything, it just clicked. It was so good back in the day. You know, over bells and whistles, over glow effects. If you want a glow effect, use your eraser and just erase a portion of it. That's your glow effect. That was the glow effect I grew up using. Or maybe because the engine was just bad. So there was a low price for upgrading, and there were plenty of inbuilt ads to support its ecosystem, which, by the way, never disappear, not even after this new subscription. So now we have this. Kids are being limited behind a massive paywall to use even less features than before, with an even more expensive solution to their problems, a subscription system. And if they don't want to pay, if they don't want to hand in their wallet to use a functional app, they have to use a version of FlipaClip so damn neutered, it was like trying to animate under amnestic with all of your muscles cut in half. Their intent behind this could possibly be even more sinister. You see, it's way easier for kids to forget that they've got a subscription, and over time, this will slowly drain the parents' wallets. I don't know if this is actually what they're trying to do, and I will never know, but
It's always a thing to keep in mind.
The fact that the plus features are made so vague, it just makes you doubt that they even exist. And there's no saying what happens to my old premium. If I subscribe, then stop. All of this is very confusing, very uneasy, and I'm afraid that one day they'll just cancel my old premium outright, and then I'll have nothing to rely on. There's not even a good explanation on Reddit, for God's sake. I thought all you guys do is lounge around and benefit in no big manner to society. But now you can't even provide me meaningful information while you're at it? For shame. For shame. To be honest, there is not a single chance in the world. I'm telling you, there is not a single chance in the world I'm shelling out even a Zimbabwe cent to these guys. Stuff edit. Yeah, I did see the fact that they added the features on their, I'm pretty sure it's their support page. And oh lord, it's a doozy. They changed nothing, and they removed, like, all of this is in the original Premiere. They added nothing cool except maybe, like, the audio library or whatever. Nobody cares about that. Like, what the actual... They removed core features and added a subscription to access said original free features.
It's like if Overwatch 2 got turned into an animation app. That's absolutely wild. You know it's bad when I use Overwatch as a metaphor for the current situation. And because in comparison, animation is like such a niche topic, nobody is making a fuss about it. And that's why we're losing all of this. It's like the fucking Minecraft Auschwitz meme. You added subscriptions to my drawing app! I was gonna create like cool content here, and you added fucking subscriptions! And that pretty much sums up my opinions on the subscription system. So, to recap, we gave up a bunch of cool stuff. We gave up the cheap one-time purchase. And for what in return exactly? City SFX? Oh, good lord, I have not handed over my wallet over to the bourgeoisie, and now I cannot have access to my premium City SFX. Oh, the calamity. Oh dear, oh dear, oh no, oh, oh. Well, speaking of most of the subscriptions, the old and the new, let me just tell you what never, ever changed. The ads. The ads are still as invasive as ever. Like, it pops up every single time you play a video, every single time you stop previewing your video, every single time you exit a project, every single time you enter a project. By the way, it's not even that effective. Like, the ad system was always kind of funny to me because you could just... I mean, the biggest thing you had to give up was Spotify, and with a second device, the problem largely solves itself. The ads. Man. The ads. These ads are on another plane, okay? If you thought the mobile app version of YouTube's ads are like the Wild West, this is like the bloody hood, bro. Remember, kids use this app. 4+ indeed, Visual Blasters. 4+ indeed. This ad system exposes young children. They're like the Verbalace 50K animation, I swear to God. It is absolutely egregious, man. It's insane on how they get away with this. So, with so much Fortnite dancing on FlipaClip's grave, let's switch to its contemporaries. But the word is kind of long. I don't know how to spell contemporaries. So I might as well just shorten it. Replacement. It's replacement. Procreate and its Procreate. Sorry. Procreate 2. Electric Boogaloo. Before all of the drawing engines and like the saving systems and stuff, let's just talk about the first thing you see when you open the app. The design.
I feel both has its merits. Pretty monotone. It's very simplistic. FlipaClips end when we boot up. We are greeted by this splash screen with this rather funky looking thing, with recently worked on projects on top and a large library at the bottom. Well, Procreate Dreams just doesn't give a crap. Have fun sifting through your projects. Another interesting thing about the design aspect of Procreate is that it has a default dark mode. So you know it's for professionals, right? Yeah, they know us better than we do. While FlipaClip can only be downloaded at daytime. It's not a strict rule, but let's just say that you'll enjoy being flashbanged by the fucking sun a lot less if your surrounding areas are very, very, very dark. If you open this at nighttime, okay, if you even dare to touch 1 pixel of the app, you will be flashbanged by the fucking sun. You will become less blinded if you stand next to a thermonuclear bomb detonation with your eyelid pressed against the core. Now we come to the bread and butter, or as I call it, the peanut butter and jelly of the app. Procreate Dreams or Procreate, as I'm going to call it from now on, has a few interesting limitations on canvases, and also has a few limitations on frames per second. For canvases, they restrict you to the most common aspect, like 16 by 9 or something. 16 by 9, I'm pretty sure that's like vertical, horizontal, wide cinema, and also your screen size. The frames per second might be a bit problematic, but they have most, if not all, of the common frames per second. FlipaClip does not have these limitations, at least on my premium version. I don't know anymore for the free versions these days. But as it is, it's quite rare to use frames that are not multiples of 12, 15, or 16. And Procreate does have most of the common sizes. And if you ever decide to export one of your animations to your photo library, for instance, you will discover that there is this neat little button called Edit Video. Like, after you do that, it's like free country. You could edit it to any size you wish. And stuff edit, they added the custom effects. And it's even better than 3D, as you can animate up to 128 frames per second. I don't know why you would want to, but hey, that's the thing, at least. If you're seriously concerned at watching animation smoother than your computer can actually do anything. Now, it's time to move on to the drawing systems themselves. FlipaClip, in my opinion, has the better undo system, with changes saved on separate frames. So you will only undo what you did on that one frame. So if you ever did like this perfect, almost pixel perfect straight line, but then you realized you messed up on like the other frame you were doing beforehand, you don't have to destroy or obliterate your perfect line. You can go to that frame and press the undo button. So maybe that will be important to you. Dreams, on the other hand, can undo onto different frames. Your perfect line will be gonzo. Like, this choice is literally a choice. It's a preference, it's an opinion. But your opinion is always wrong. Dreams does have the benefit of literally being able to save every single animation you ever did from the start. Like, it's every single line you ever did sticks around better, longer than like the school memories. Like, this iPad could have dementia and it would not forget any single line. Like, it will remember every single pixel that it does. So that might be useful, but not really. Like the only benefit I've ever really had is that my iPad is now faster because this iPad is out of storage space. So I got myself a new one. That's how it improves your speed, guys. So to recap, it ends up in massive files, but if you're a serious animator, you will always have 12 exabytes of storage filled with all your past failures. I mean, there's also this mildly interesting thing with FlipaClip not storing the undo steps if you exit the app, but it's a really niche thing and it only ever comes up in crash bugs. So, Now for brushes. Dreams, and subsequently its brother Procreate, is the undisputed king of brushes. I'm not really sure how much there are, but there are at least 60 brushes. Like, have you seen how many submenus this thing has? Which is, I'm pretty sure, I'm no maths guy, okay? But, like, I'm pretty sure 60 brushes is more than the 8 or so brushes. Not even counting the fact that some of those are locked behind a paywall. And even without these custom brushes in the regular Procreate, like in the normal one, you could create your own custom brushes. Like me, I have this PNG of a cat for a brush. Like, even if you don't have that, there's always the recently used brushes, which is incredibly useful because it's gonna be a hard time remembering names of these brushes. So yes, recent brushes, very useful. These erasers also work like a sort of negative drawing, okay? As in, they also use brushes. So you could also have, perhaps, a pencil that draws out the void. For example, my favorite is the soft pastel that just erases things for some reason. Layers are a funny thing. They not just have layers, but they also have this thing called tracks. Each frame can have them separate layers, and like each frame and all of those frames and all of those layers combined into a frame can be turned into a track. So it's kind of like Inception or something. Whilst FlipaClip locks the amount of layers to a max of 10, not even counting the fact that the free version also only allows you to have a max of 4. And that 4 means that you have to watch an ad. Dreams also enables shifting of separate tracks of separate frames as groups. So it makes offsetting frames much easier. At the same time, you could easily rearrange individual layers, individual tracks. You could very easily copy things. I'm pretty sure there's a frame selecting tool for that. It's wild how good it is. You could also hold individual frames, like you could extend the amount of times it stays on the screen without large amounts of copy pasting. And held frames are always linked to their parent. So essentially, all these changes are automatically synced and distributed to the held frames. It doesn't really work if your frame is separated from the pack, but at this point, I'm not really sure what would satisfy you. Another benefit of Dreams is that it has a theoretically infinite canvas. Pretty sure infinite's a pretty big number. If you drag something off screen, it's out of sight, but not so much out of mind. It's forever stored inside the limbo space, kind of like the back rooms of the canvas. But with FlipaClip, if a pixel is out of sight, it means that it's Thanos-snapped out of existence faster than Peter Parker. It doesn't even have time to say, I'm not feeling so well. It's just gone. FlipaClip does have the edge over Dreams in one aspect, though. The cut or selection tool is easier to use in FlipaClip, and rotation, resizing, flipping is easier there. You know why? Because there is no selection tools for Procreate. There is no selection tool for the layers in a frame, and the biggest offender of them all, you can't move layers and rearrange, copy them, or do much to them. So like, you can't move the layers independently of each other. It's not like you can rearrange them. You can like shift the order of them, but you just can't move them around individually, independently. You can't do much to them, in fact. You can't even individually adjust like the hue values, none of that. You can't even blur it individually. This can be circumvented in a way by turning frames into tracks and recombining them into groups, but I am lazy as hell, and also that requires you to like flip the flip book, like the automatic tracks thing, faster than you would actually flip a flip book in real life. And all of that is tremendous work, and I am lazy as hell. Procreate has this debatedly useless or debatedly useful feature where you could record yourself dragging things over the screen in real time, or slightly slower than that, but you can't rotate and move at the same time. Human reactions are not quick enough. Dragging is kind of sluggish. So, I've never actually been inside a situation where that has been more useful than if I were to rearrange them by hand. Like, if I want to extend something, sure, I could keep my pencil on there, hold it there, don't move, and it will automatically extend for, like, videos and such. Such as this one right now. Look, I'm swirling it across the screen. But, to be honest, it's rather a niche subject, and I don't think it deserves being marketed that much. Okay. Dreams also has a distortion tool, which is cool, I guess. Just kidding, plus 10 points! Real quick update here, editing and clips. So, apparently, Dreams has the basis for skeletal animation. Like, in this bit from my trailer where this robot arm moves, I can set 2 transforms and it will automatically interpolate between these 2 keyframes, because you can set the anchors of rotation compounded with like the infinite amount of off-screen area, and you really got them infinite possibilities. The add a frame is also slightly more different, but to be honest, it's a matter of preference. Dreams lets you just draw a random line anywhere and it becomes a new frame. But you can't open the layers before you draw on the thing, which in most cases are either rough sketches or lines and outlines. But you know what stays on the top? Outlines. You know how layers are added on top of the original. So, if you want to paint, you physically have to like rearrange those layers, or else you're just stuck. Very smart, quite brave. You might think I might be nitpicking a little bit here, but trust me, okay? FlipaClip needs all the help it can get. Now, let's talk about the only thing I have too much of. Time. Like, I'm talking to you. I have too much time. That's the biggest. In Dreams, you smush the timeline into a flipbook thing, and it's harder to flip a lot of frames, which might sound like a problem, but trust me, it's a huge asset in most cases, because you will not lose where you are while you're drawing. You know, like in FlipaClip, you can touch this single atom of the timeline, and boom, you're sent back into the past. Like, you're sent back before the Big Bang. You're sent back to the void. See, in FlipaClip, we have this massive timeline under everything, and it's impossible to zoom out. You have to manually traverse those 5 billion or so years before you reach the part where you left off. Whilst in Procreate, this smushed timeline makes traversal much, much easier, as you could just zoom out, zoom back in, boom, 6 billion years, just like that. FlipaClip has something similar, maybe close, but it's a lot like the playhead. in a YouTube video than anything else. And also you can zoom out or zoom in on it. So, for example, if you have a 10-hour video, I don't know why you would have one, but just for the sakes of this argument, you have a 10-hour video, you have to literally drag pixels, and I'm talking like nanometers. And at the same time, it's ultra easy to get your finger to accidentally catch on when you're flipping the flipbook. But dragging the flipbook and the playhead are in opposite directions. So you scroll in this direction to go forward in the flipbook, but you do so in the opposite direction if you want to do so in the playhead. So it's kind of like H.G. Wells' Time Machine, where you want to go see some dinosaurs, but instead accidentally travel to the far future, where everything has evolved into crabs. Like, that's a new kind of hell. I have to criticize Procreate on the design of the big-ass timeline, though. See how large it is? That's like 60% of prime screen real estate area, and it's just gone. It's replaced by those, admittedly, rather simplistic lines, and you could sort of see the frames on, but if you zoom out to see everything, it's just gone. It's just long-ass lines. It works well when you can physically flip it down to draw, but in, like, scaling mode, moving mode, recording mode, or any other mode than drawing mode, it just doesn't disappear. It says, cannot open flipbook. I get that I'm poor, but please don't make it so that I have to buy a new iPad just to move Billy across the damn floor. Speaking of moving, did you know when you move or rotate small object in Procreate, it's absolute hell? That's right, you can't move anything small when zoomed out, but it turns out you can press elsewhere to move it. That's so cool. Where do they tell you that? Absolutely fucking nowhere. Which brings me to my biggest criticism of this app. It tells you nothing. Like, it has like a PowerPoint of what you are expected to do, but it does not go in depth. Okay, in comparison, like the Team Fortress 2 tutorial is like deeper and more like informational. Like, dear God, like the Team Fortress 2 tutorial only covers 4 out of the 9 classes, and yet it's still more informative. Procreate doesn't even teach you how to add a frame and draw. What do you think this does? Or this? Any of these? You can argue that they're online tutorials, but at the time of script writing, there isn't even a hashtag for Procreate Dreams. You can see in my Winter Song short, there isn't a Procreate Dreams hashtag. Because there ain't one. I did it. It's not because I forgot to add one. It's just because there isn't one. Procreate has a steep learning curve because it's marketed to professionals, and I admire them for that. But I don't think a good professional app should not require the said professional to press 10,000 buttons before being able to draw on the damn canvas. You know how hard it is to draw a line in FlipaClip? It's done already. Moving onwards to the smaller side, Dreams has a much better palette system than whatever the hell this is. Like, the text option is actually editable and on a different track, so it doesn't get burned into your animation, much like how the FlipaClip splash screen engraved itself into my visual cortex. Next, we have audio and video, the two biggest things you are ever going to work on in animation. Firstly, we have to talk about the audio. Okay, FlipaClip leaves audio on by default, and it does not mute it when you're scrolling through frames. So, when you drag through the flipbook, it is slowed to a crawl. It's like an eldritch god begging you to release it from this mortal hell. Dreams, on the other hand, has the flipbook, and the audio is muted until you play the animation or until you move the playhead. You also can just like teleport the playhead if you want to. Like, you just tap on somewhere and the playhead just moves over there, doesn't play music. For video, Dreams has both a W and a L. For the edge over FlipaClip, the videos have the audio imported as well, which kind of strikes me as odd on FlipaClip's end. It's like someone forgot to tape on the audio import bit into the code, which sort of fell off and became its own thing. But listening to the audio in FlipaClip, like when you just use it for normal FlipaClip things, it's hard to be mad at them for not including it. On the other hand, Dreams only allows you to have one video per project, whilst FlipaClip creates a separate layer for each new imported video. So we can have up to 10. But on the other hand, if you need 10 videos to do something, and you want to do that something in an animation app, I don't know if you need help or a video editor. Whilst we're on the subject of videos, let's talk about how videos are handled. On FlipaClip's end, every single pixel is immediately burned in. It has no correlation whatsoever, and in essence, the video is split up into whatever frames per second your thing has. On the other hand, in Procreate Dreams, the video is regarded as its own separate entity, which means that it will not be affected by the frames per second, so it will automatically do its own thing, and it will not be sped up if you set the frame rate higher than it is. This might be useful, and it might be a liability, but to be honest, because this is neither too helpful nor too unhelpful. But please keep in mind that because it's treated like the video is treated as one giant entity, you can rescale the entire thing, which is not possible in FlipaClip. At the same time, you could also drag the video around in real time, and that thing is automatically also saved. In FlipaClip, it's burned onto the screen. Like, it has been burned. It has been burned in deeper than when you try to use permanent marker on the whiteboard, okay? It will never disappear. It will never disappear. You can never rescale it unless you do so manually for every single frame. So, I feel like Procreate Dreams might have the slight edge over here, but it's not really my decision to make. So, moving on, we have exports. No, not as in your Mexican uncle. That's deports. It's a pretty even fight between these two titans, or rather inflatable tube men, because none of those apps are really that strong on that subject. Dreams has this export current frame as image thing, which is okay. I mean, it's not unhelpful. It might actually be practically useful in some very niche cases. Like, for example, for a thumbnail or something. At the same time, just, take a damn screenshot and crop it. I mean, audio export options are also kind of something. If any of these two random strings of letters mean anything to you. In FlipaClip, we have also these things. You can't turn off the watermark if you don't pay. Oh, and by the way, FlipaClip, fuck you for that. I won't say what this file format is called because outside there is already a gathering crowd holding pitchforks, and I'd hate to get on the wrong side of these hooligans. There's also a thing where if you change it to PNG sequence, it presents you with the option to turn on a transparent background. But the way it is implemented just baffles me. It somehow does not turn off the original canvas, but renders the thing whole and cuts away the canvas like some sort of dollar store green screen. Which gets worse when you find out that it's not perfect, it still leaves traces. And it gets even more horrible when you discover the fact that semi-transparent anythings don't work with it.
Boom, you get like a alpha 99.9% something. Well, fuck you. Here's a horribly cropped image. Dreams has no option to turn off the background, but the OG Procreate does. Each set sold separately. Moving on, we have some quick fire rounds. Dreams has no ruler. Dreams has no auto shaping feature present in Procreate. FlipaClip has no adjustable transparency per frame. FlipaClip has no adjustable HSB, which means it stands for hue, saturation, and brightness. FlipaClip has no Gaussian blur. FlipaClip has no blur in any meaningful manner. And Dreams has no auto pixelation feature. Onion skinning on Dreams also allows you to customize the colors of the front and back thing, of the front frames and the back frames, but there's this programming oversight that causes the current frame to be marked as a future frame. So please keep an eye out for that. Dreams also has no drawing guides at the moment, which means those square things, kind of like coordinates. But hey, I'm sure that will change. The final W for FlipaClip comes in the Area Select or Cut tool. I personally feel that it's one of the strongest tools ever present in a drawing. Oh, and by the way, the dotted line goes on the screen, not your wrist. Using this to mark off an area allows you to copy, move, rotate, and flip it. Big panoramas like these are doable in the app, but oh my sweet summer child, you have no idea how painful this is. But I have to say, sometimes I do really miss things I could do with the select tool. It's also present in the normal Procreate, so why not here? I can give up going outside. I can give up gaming. I can give up another $78. Even accept a subscription service. Okay, maybe not the last one, but you get my point that I wanted so bad. Quick editor's note here. I noticed that FlipaClip also has a distort function added to it. So, sorry to the single diehard FlipaClip supporter out there. Jake, is it? How's your wallet doing right now? Well, was the city sound effect worth it? Okay. We come to pricing again. I have already established that FlipaClip's new pricing has made me lose all hope in FlipaClip and humanity, but what about the pricing of Procreate Dreams? Dreams costs 178 Hong Kong dollars, which seems like a fair amount, and it is, especially for people like me. But the thing is, a yearly subscription costs $128, and, that was the discounted version, so in actuality, it's even more worth it if you use it for a long time. Like, Jesus, you only need to use it for 366 days for it to be worth it, you know? And for the animation part-timers, it is substantially cheaper than Adobe Animate. Of course, you could always do a Jack Sparrow and sail the high seas. What are they gonna do? Call in a lawsuit? I'm gonna get the fucking death penalty. Finally, we have come to the big bug bogdown. I've used FlipaClip substantially longer, and I found a few bugs. Most of them copy and paste related. With only a handful of unrecreatable crash bugs. On the other hand, and remember when I talked about the saving system, saving everything? Well, I might have wished on the monkey's paw for that one. Because, apparently, if you even dare turn down the saving after this amount of draws, the app crashes
if you do anything else. So this leads to some funny yet sad bits. 25 gigabytes. I downloaded this in like November. That's like 4 months, and I only made a few drawings. As a quick curb stomp, here's a clip of every single thing that's hidden behind a paywall. The final showdown! Let's tally up the scores. Ease of user project access, FlipaClip edges out barely. Veterans discount, obviously, FlipaClip +1. Single purchase, Procreate immediately takes the cake. +2 marks, definitely. Output sizes, canvas freedom. I'd say FlipaClip has a very slight edge. But of course, if you're using the free version, then no. FPS freedom, I'm gonna say FlipaClip edges 1 extra mark off Procreate Dreams. Undo and the save system, they both have their merits. I'm gonna give both 1 point. For brushes, obviously, Procreate Dreams has that extra point. The cut tool, FlipaClip takes another one. The distortion tool, maybe not. I don't know if it's free for the regular version, so I can't really comment on that one. Then the default dark mode, Procreate edges this out barely. The text system, Procreate, definitely wins over, +1 mark. The sound system, Procreate, mildly surpasses FlipaClip. And for customizability, I can't really comment on that, but you can like name your projects, you could add trademarks on them, you could add signatures or whatever. It's not that useful, but hey, it's always there. And for the no watermark, Procreate Dreams definitely wins. Speaking of watermark, I remember back in ye olden days, I remember somebody saying, I'm pretty sure it's the app saying, that if I pay the premium, I can get to create my own watermark. But no, that hasn't happened. So, who is the winner? Which inflatable wavy arm tube man wins? I'll let you decide on that one. But right now, at this very moment, Dreams is a relatively new app, with a bit of crash bugs, some of which need you to restart twice in order to get it working again. But the progress is autosaved, so you won't be losing out on much progress. FlipaClip has a longer standing audience, much more in-depth tutorials because it's obviously older, and there are much more die-hard fans that are being let down as we speak. But at the end, it's still your choice between Procreate Dreams and Toon Squid. Let's go! This has been a pretty hard topic for me to cover, because I love both of these apps very dearly, and I would hate to see them gone. So, just to maybe lighten the mood, make your day a tiny bit better, I present to you a song in rather low quality.